Hello everyone, my name is Vaibhav Anand Sharma. In the year 2023, I've got rank All India 58 in the UPSC Civil Services Examination. Through this video, I'm going to first for 2-3 minutes give you a brief about my journey, just a synopsis of it, and after that I will be sharing my strategy in a slightly detailed manner regarding prelims, mains as well as interview. So if I talk about my journey, I would say that I was born in 1996 in a city called Moradabad. It is on the western margins of the state of Uttar Pradesh, and I completed my childhood and my schooling from that city, which the schooling was completed in the year 2013. And after that I pursued electronics and communication engineering from a college named JP Institute of Information Technology, and engineering was complete in 2017. After that, I got an opportunity to work with a firm called Zycus Infotech Private Limited in the city of Mumbai. There I worked for roughly 2 years, and after that I quit my job and I came back to prepare for this examination, and I prepared completely from my city Moradabad. With whatever help from any coaching institute I took, it was in an online mode through Moradabad itself. So I was completely an online student. My preparation technically started from October of 2019, and by God's grace it got finished in April of 2024. So it was nearly a 5-year journey in which I failed twice. Once I failed in mains in my first attempt with 29 marks gap from the cutoff of mains, and in the second attempt I failed in prelims with 0.6 marks. So this was practically my strategy, and in my first attempt mains I got 707 marks, and in this current mains in which I qualified, only the mains score is 811. So it is good enough a jump to get me from a stage where I was not qualified for mains to a stage where I qualified for IAS, which is the services that most of the aspirants desire for. So let us discuss the strategy now. If I talk about prelims, so the complete structure of prelims knowledge bank can be divided into 2 aspects. One is static. Second is current affairs. The biggest blunder and the most common blunder is that students over focus here. They are too much concerned with, let's say, ease reforms in the banking sector. They are too much focusing on what is happening in the banking sector, but what they do not know is what is the difference between repo rate and reverse repo rate. I have talked to multiple aspirants, trust me, wherein they are talking so much about current affairs, they are bothered so much about current affairs, and when I actually ask them, okay, you are so much worried about economics current affairs, do you know what is the difference between bank rate and repo rate and reverse repo rate? Do you know what is policy rate corridor? They had no idea. And they had some idea, yes, it is related to banking sector, but they were not able to give me convincing answers. I think this is blunder number 1 that you have to avoid in this very basics of prelims preparation. Static is the kingmaker. This is the kingmaker, and current affairs just ensures that you are able to solve some extra questions so that you are able to comfortably get above the cutoff. So if you are very well versed with your geography concepts, if you are well versed with your economy concepts, if you are very well versed with your environment concepts, if you know basics of science and technology, from any source, whichever source through which you have done, maybe it was a foundation course, for me it was foundation course. So it may be your foundation course or it may be your own unique strategy from where you have covered all the basic aspects. That is your foundation. That foundational concepts, those foundational concepts are going to ensure that you are going to clear prelims. But yes, you cannot ignore current affairs. But I would give you just simple suggestion which I followed. Please interrogate this concept on your own, this advice on your own, and that is that choose only one source for current affairs. So it is very important to limit your source in current affairs and rely extensively on it and do extensive revisions, 4 to 5. And then only you can imagine to be comfortable in current affairs. Regarding the static strategy of prelims, If we talk about polity, then everyone knows that we have to refer to a book called Lakshmikant. But how do you approach Lakshmikant? How do you read it? See, we all of us buy Lakshmikant, but we often miss out on the MCQ book that is also available in the market. So there is a Lakshmikant MCQ book also. I used to do that if I have read the chapter called President, for example, then after reading that chapter, I will also solve the MCQs from the prelims MCQ booklet of Lakshmikant, and I will try to see how many questions I did right and how many questions I did wrong. And I used to simply on a page write it down that okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, did it right or whether I did it wrong. So this was simply 15 to sometimes 30 questions, but I was able to get a knack of the fact that even after reading President, full-fledged reading, complete reading, concentrated reading, even after that I was getting questions wrong. So it kinds of pushes you in the prelims mode for polity and also for other subjects, because you get an understanding that what kind of facts you have to look if you really want to clear prelims. For polity, this was my simple strategy, and apart from that, current affairs, whichever source you refer to for that particular polity area, refer to that source, you are done with it, be comfortable, revise multiple times, be confident on your preparation. Regarding economy, now again I relied on my foundational notes for economy because it's a conceptual game at the end of the day, right? So if you know the concepts, most of the questions in economy you are able to solve. Even if you look at the PYQs, there is an extensive repetition. For example, there was a question on money multiplier effect. Now I remembered that this is a question that could be solved based on PYQs as well, right? So even if you would have done previous year questions properly, then that money multiplier question could have been an easy prey for you. So I think that if you rely on your foundational notes, your basics of economy, and then any current affairs source which you chose for economy itself, then it will be you will be in a position where you will be able to do it properly. And I highly recommend that if you are reading economy, it's a very scientific subject. There are two subjects that I find very scientific. One is economy, other is geography, to some extent environment. So these three subjects, please don't be very, in a rush mode when you are building your concepts in these subjects. Be very patient when you are trying to understand what is repo rate, what is reverse repo rate, how is it going to impact the liquidity in the market, what is money multiplier effect, how is banking sector responsible for the liquidity in our country, in our country's economy, and what are the different sections of society which are impacted by different policy rate changes, etc. So please be very patient while building these concepts. Don't be restless in that time because it's a scientific subject. If you read polity, then today you read Lakshmikant, today you understand that you know all the concepts, but 5 days down the line you will have to revise it again. Today I am selected, but still I cannot be very sure that any chapter you open of Lakshmikant and I know everything about it. No, I don't, because Lakshmikant requires revision. But when it comes to economy, when it comes to geography, when it comes to environment, these are conceptual things. So if you understand the concepts of economy, chances are that all you need is just 2 days revision and you will be able to revise the concepts in your mind. Same goes for geography, same goes for environment. If you know what are provisioning services, in environment I am talking, if you know what are regulatory services, right? So you know the concept of ecosystem services. If you know the concept of ecological niche, you just know it. So it requires just very simple revision of few days and you are good to go. So these are scientific subjects of your preparation. Please focus on them likewise. And again, foundation of your notes, foundation of your subject is going to get you through. Don't be panicky that I have read economics, whatever it is, now I need to focus on current affairs, prelims is coming. It is antithetical to your preparation. Be very patient. Be patient and read the concepts. When you are revising, again revise the concepts, and that is going to give you the meat of your marks in prelims. Economics done, polity done. For environment, again you have to focus on the basics, very basics. So you should understand what are ecosystem services. You should understand what is a biome. You should understand what is biosphere. And please build your basics around it. For example, when we say biosphere, right? What is biosphere? This is Earth. This is your Earth. Where is life in this Earth? Roughly 10 kilometer above into the atmosphere and roughly 10 kilometer below within the oceans. This is roughly a figure that I am giving. If you create a line around it, it is a sphere. This is a sphere, a spherical shape. So that is why this is where you find bio. So this is a biosphere. That is why you call it biosphere. Bio for biology means life. Life in this sphere. So this is conceptual building. Don't just keep on uttering biosphere, biosphere. Please understand that this is the sphere in which you find biology, right? So if you read your concepts conceptually, if you read your things conceptually, they will stay with you. And that is why I am saying that in the conceptual subjects, please be very careful in building your concepts. Similarly, when you are reading geography, you should not get confused that if the lava is coming from asthenosphere, a layer in our earth, if the lava is coming from there, is it even coming? Because is asthenosphere having any vault-like situation on our crust or not? If the lava is being formed after these stones, the rocks on the surface of the crust, they travel into the below layers and they get melted. Now will it be acidic or basic? Will the silica content in that lava be high or low? Now these are the concepts that you need to build. You need to really understand how monsoon comes to India and why Tamil Nadu does not have good rains when it comes to southeastern monsoons, and why only upon reversal of monsoons most of the rains Tamil Nadu receives. So you should know what is El Nino, La Nina, El Nino southern oscillations, how Pacific Ocean is impacting this phenomena. These are scientific things. So if you focus on that, then you will be able to answer most of the questions. If I ask you about temperature inversion, then you should be able to imagine that if there are clouds and there is also wind, will there be temperature inversion or not? So you should be able to imagine all these things. When you roam around, when you drive, when you see, you should be able to see geography. So this is conceptual building, and geography, environment, economy, these are subjects which require conceptual building. But when it comes to polity, polity is the mathematics of this preparation, I feel. You have to revise it again and again. So please be mindful that plan your strategy in a way that before prelims exam, polity should be a subject that is fairly fresh in your memory, because it will serve you good only then. This was practically my prelims preparation. Build your foundation very strongly, especially for certain subjects which I mentioned. Choose only one current affairs subject source and rely on it, trust on it. Now, there is third aspect of prelims preparation, and it is the test series. Now, how do you make use of test series? By the way, I was always intimidated by some statements by some brilliant people who qualified this exam, that they attempted 80 tests, they attempted 90 tests, sometimes 100 tests. I could never become that person. I highly respect those people who can do that, but personally I would give a rough bracket, it is 10 to 16 tests. I remember properly sitting for 11 tests, but there were 4-5 tests which were sometimes online. Many coaching institutes, including GS Core, they give some free tests also, so I attempted that sometimes. Sometimes some other coaching institute gave me a free test, so I did that. So that happened, that's why I am giving you a window of 10 to 16 tests. In these tests, only 3 to 4 tests were sectional tests, rest everything was full length test. But the way I used to interrogate these tests, that was very intensive. So if I had solved one test, right, so I would solve that test in around 2 hours. Sometimes it used to get finished in 1.5 hours, because I was not very under pressure when I was solving a mock test. So I used to sometimes finish it in 1.5 hours, but I used to spend 4 to 5 hours just to interrogate that test. I used to interrogate my correct answers also, wrong answers also. Even if it's a correct answer, sometimes it happens that our thought process behind it is wrong. So we thought wrongly, but we somehow ended up with the right answer. Now this is something you have to be watchful about, because that wrong thought process can give you a wrong answer also at some wrong time, which may be your real prelims test. And even in the answers which I did wrong, sometimes I was thinking in the right way, but somehow some problem was there and I attempted it wrongly. So that is how I used to interrogate it. And there was also a very simple copies that I made, simple copy. What I used to do, that suppose this is my copy page. Here I will write 1. Now this is the first question which I did. It may be which I attempted rightly, it may be which I attempted wrongly, but there must be some knowledge deficit that I had in that question. Maybe I did it right, but must be some knowledge deficit which I feel which is very relevant for the exam. In simple one word, I used to write this. Trust me, there was a question about Bank Board Bureau in the year 2022 prelims. Now that prelims I failed by 0.6 marks. That's a different story that we'll talk. But in that prelims, there was a question on Bank Board Bureau. I solved it because I was making notes like this, right? So this way you can interrogate your prelims. Okay, simple line information, simple line information, simple line. This is what revising your prelims test means. It does not mean reading the complete explanation, because sometimes you know 80% of that explanation if you have prepared well. But what you don't know, just write in the copy, revise that 2 to 3 times. That is what, when toppers say, when people who qualified this exam say that they revise their prelims test, they mean this. Alright. Now there is also one more aspect of prelims preparation, and that is the PYQs. They are extremely important. I know that you must have heard it repeatedly by various esteemed people who qualified this exam, that if there is, say, 4 options, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's say that this is a question of year 2015 prelims. Let's say that this option is right and these options are wrong. So commonsensical understanding says that if you are able to solve this question properly, if you are able to come to the right answer, story ends there. But what you have to think is that UPSC has cared to print these options. UPSC has officially printed these options. Please know a little bit about them. Even if it's a question on fishes, and this is a right fish, these are 3 wrong fishes. Please know a little bit about them. Trust me, this, consider it your homework. Even if you do last 10 years question, this theme you will find. This was a question that came in 2015. Example, for example, let's assume all 4 are fishes. First fish is right option. These 3 are wrong. I just got to know a little bit about them by simple Google search. After 3 years, a question comes in which there are 4 names written, and it is asked which one of them is a fish, and one name is this. Now because of this exercise, you solve this question. You simply know by reading the question that these are fishes, and this came in the next year. This has happened in UPSC, this is your homework. Please find it out. This way you will do your PYQ analysis. This exact pattern has happened recently, right? So that is how you get some brownie points, because every question matters in prelims. Prelims is not a test of your worth, okay? Even mains, this exam is not a test of your worth, but even if academically speaking, prelims is not a very good indicator of your expertise or hold over your syllabus. So please, you have to understand these tricks also, some tricks. Now there is PYQ we have also done. We have also understood how to analyze our test papers, foundation and current affairs we have also done. Now there is one aspect which is remaining of prelims preparation, and you might feel that this is not the very important aspect, but it is very important, and it is the psychological aspect of solving the exam, right? Because there are very able, intelligent, efficient candidates who lose their grip on the D-Day. That we should focus upon a little. These advice that I am going to tell you, I would not claim that they are scientific, but I highly recommend it if you are a person who gets anxious. Number 1, you should have enough water in your body, because lack of water also creates problems. Please ensure that you have enough glucose or enough vitamin C or vitamins in your body, because these vitamins also to some extent impact your nervous functioning. So I would even recommend that you consult with a doctor, get your blood tested. Please ensure that you have all the right nutrients which are needed for a highly functioning body. I did that. I was lacking in vitamin A and vitamin D. I took supplements for it, but I was under medical guidance. Please make sure that it happens. Second, Please, in your anxiety, do not forget to use the washroom in the examination center. I have seen many of my friends who in their anxiety they don't leave their seat right before the test, and they end up having the nature's call while they are giving the test, and that adds to the tension. These are very basic steps. Third, please wear comfortable clothing. I used to solve my mock test in the same clothing in which I would be giving my exact test. Even if I was wearing the shoes, I made sure that I will be wearing the same shoes on the examination day. This is how you control the environmental variables in your mind. And fourth, please, if you want to overthink about the exam, overthink about it after giving it. I am also an overthinker, but somehow I was able to pause my overthinking till the exam was done. I overthinked a lot after giving mains, overthinked a lot after giving prelims, overthinked a lot about the result. But when I was giving my mains, when I was giving my prelims, I was of the opinion whatever happens, happens, I don't care. Have the mindset of a person as if you are a child of Dhirubhai Ambani. Nothing is going to happen to you. Have that mindset on that day. Forget that you have not bought sari for your mom or shoes for your dad. Don't come with that baggage on that day, just for that day. After that, become a dutiful son or daughter, but on that day, please be free of all the social pressures, and then your performance will excel. So this was my prelims strategy. So I will be telling you about my strategy of clearing mains now. Now, please understand that this is a broad strategy. You have to implement it on your own. If I think about mains, in my mind, GS1, GS2, GS3, all three of them have the same strategy. Strategy of GS4 is a little different, for essay is a little different, and for optional also it is a little different. But for GS1 to 3, the strategy is same. I will tell you very simply, and trust me, this simple strategy can take you far. This is your UPSC syllabus, what UPSC has printed. UPSC ने paper 1 में it has given you 9 or 8 points. Paper 2 में it has given you around 19 points. Paper 3 में similarly. Every point you have to break it. For example, in GS paper 2, if it is written SHG, self-help group, right? Then comma, then NGO. You have to make static notes out of it. Static notes, what does it mean? The types of self-help groups, the types of NGOs, it is not going to change. They are going to be advocacy NGOs. There are going to be research NGOs. So this way you are going to make static notes of your mains. Please don't think that if you have read Lakshmikant, you are done for polity. No, look at the governance topics. It's not very rocket science. Just look at the topics, look at the syllabus, make static notes. And when you have understood the syllabus well, then you become equipped to understand newspaper. For example, I again and again quote this example, that in Indian Express or the Hindu of 2022, a case was going on in Supreme Court, and in that there was a line which was said by Honorable Chief Justice of India. And that line was that India's federalism is a constant struggle between competitive and uncompetitive federalism. Now, if you look at the GS paper 2 question paper which has come in the 2023 cycle, please tell yourself or ask yourself, can this line of Chandrachud ji, that India's federalism is a constant struggle between competitive and uncompetitive federalism, can this line be used in any question? You will be surprised to know that yes, it can be used. So that is how you have to read newspaper. You are able to read newspaper only after you understand the syllabus. When you read the syllabus, please make static notes. After making static notes, please read the current affairs, the newspaper, and then only you will be able to understand, okay, this current affair goes till this, for this point in this syllabus. This current affair piece goes for this point. This is how you are going to tackle GS 1 to 3. Then you have to attempt test series. Test series you can take from any institute. It can be GS score, it can be any other institute. Choose that test series and write it. And please, test series, maybe you have to make 2 lessons for yourself. One is physiological, other is mental. So physiological is that you don't realize it right now, but when you write full length tests, even your finger physiology changes, right? Still my finger and my thumb has some kind of rigidity, it is because of answer writing. So that is also, that pain that comes with answer writing, you have to get watchful of that. Second thing is mental answer writing. You see a question and just on your question paper, you are just writing like this. For example, you saw a question paper on your tab etc. and you are doing this is going to be the intro, I will write this, I will make this diagram and I will conclude it this way. This is mental answer writing. Please be honest with yourself, this is how you are going to tackle GS 1, 2, 3. When it comes to GS paper 4, right, choose your ethics teacher. If you are a person who needs ethics guidance, it can be Manoj K. Jha sir. His free videos are available online, you can refer to him. You can refer to any other teacher also as per your wish. I had my own teacher from where I did foundation course as well as one other teacher, but Manoj K. Jha sir was the person with whom I wrote the test series, because my ethics teacher in his ethics enrichment program, he did not provide the test series option, so I had to take a test series. I took test series from some other institute just to cross verify and cross fertilize my thought process, and from GS score I took the test series. It cost me around 7,000 rupees, and this test series give you the option of talking one-on-one with Manoj K. Jha sir. You will receive a call, there will be a coordinator, Manoj K. Jha sir will come online, there will be 5-6 other people who wrote tests with you. There will also be a ranking process. So you can go to the GS score website and you can get to know that who topped in this test, who did not top. You can, I think I checked it right before exam also, I got second rank in my second paper. I wrote only 2 tests. It was a test series of around 7 tests. But unfortunately my time did not allow me. I wrote 2 tests. In my second test I got second rank. It was a motivation booster also, because ultimately it's a competitive exam. So I got to know, okay, I got second rank. The evaluation process is also right. The writing of the Manoj K. Jha sir sometimes is not legible. So when he takes the video classes, he explains what he has written. So that also you can bear. And the inputs are also very good. So this is something what I did for ethics. I made my basic notes from the original teacher who taught me the content, and I got my tests evaluated from Manoj K. Jha sir at GS score. He gave me inputs, I tried to improve. At the end, see, I am a person who is very bad at writing ethics. So I got 73 marks in my first attempt, and this year I got around, I think, 103 marks. So 103 or 102, it's slipping my mind. So it's a jump of around 30 marks. So I would not say that this ensured my rank, but it ensured that I do not get rejected because of ethics. And I was able to do this in the last 20 days of my mains preparation, because when only 20 days were remaining in my mains, I realized that I am not good in ethics. I am not very good in ethics. So that's how I started jumbling. I found my teacher who taught me ethics, and I found Manoj K. Jha sir who evaluated my copy. Both of them, they came as gurus to me, and I ultimately managed ethics to the extent that I got IAS. And when it comes to optional, what you have to do, and in ethics, please remember, again you have to read the syllabus, you have to understand what accountability is, what responsibility is, have some examples ready, and you should be good with it. And when it comes to examples, please understand one thing, that you cannot simply write that TN Seshan sir was a very responsible man, or Sridharan sir was very punctual. You cannot simply say, although it's truth, but you cannot simply say. You have to tell that Sridharan sir in his projects used to have reverse clocks. So whenever there was a project going on, he used to add reverse clock, that okay, only 10 दिन are left, सिर्फ 10 दिन बचे हैं इस project के लिए. अब 10 दिन के अंदर अंदर अपने को खत्म करना है, तो वो रिवर्स क्लॉक शुरू कर देते थे. 10 days, 9 days, 8 days, 7 days. तो ये रिवर्स क्लॉक के एग्जाम्पल से आप बताओगे कि भाई जो हमारे श्रीधरन सर थे वो पंक्चुअल थे. ऐसे नहीं बोलोगे कि वो पंक्चुअल थे. जब आप बोलोगे कि TN Seshan सर के पास करेज ऑफ कन्विक्शन था, तो ऐसे ही नहीं बोलोगे करेज ऑफ कन्विक्शन था. आप ये बताओगे कि TN Seshan सर ने पॉलिटिकल मास्टर्स से ये बात कही थी कि जब तक आप वोटर आईडी कार्ड इशू नहीं करोगे तब तक मैं इलेक्शंस नहीं कराऊंगा. एंड एवरीवन एल्स वाज प्रेशराइजिंग हिम दैट यू प्लीज कंडक्ट इलेक्शंस, प्लीज डोंट बी सो एरोगेंट. एंड ही सेड नो, दिस इज एथिक्स. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू कंडक्ट दीज इलेक्शंस until and unless I have my voter ID cards at my table. So these are some examples with which you clearly portray the ethical qualities that were there in good civil servants. So this is pretty much about ethics. Now when it comes to optional, again you have a syllabus, you make those notes and add your own examples. And when you add your own examples, add them exactly where you are writing that topic. do the test series properly, evaluate it, and also refer to topper answer copies. Optional is one aspect where you will get rich dividends of your hard work. I got 296 in sociology, pretty much it ensured my selection. So I have shared my optional strategy at various podiums, you can refer to that. But the synopsis is this only: you have a syllabus, you make your own notes, you observe the current affairs, note those current affairs at the same place where you note the static. Don't rely on books for revision, rely on your notes, because note making is also a memory exercise. That is pretty much, and I think that was my main strategy. Thank you so much.